자, 오늘 스탠리 패럽을 하도록 하겠습니다. 시청자 손, 초등학교 다니는 친구들 우리 인증하고 바로 그냥
돈 좀 이러면 접니다.
쌈 모아갖고 한번 해봐. 그때
같이 해봐.
재미 없어질까. 무덤에 새겨진 이거. 이거 보고 게임 합시다.
1300.
뭐야?
바로
이게 그 자기 말 안 들으면 존나 괴롭히는 그 게임 아니냐? 해본 적 있냐고? 있지. 아주 오래전에.
신청태도 박수! 박수!
뭐야, 아직도 안 끝났어?
이 개새끼들아 방송하잖아.
분위기 몇 개야?
이 개새끼들아.
방송하잖아. 방송하잖아. 박수! 컴퓨터가 거의 보이지 않을 때까지 슬라이더를 조정하세요? 싫어. 존나 밝게 할 거야. 이런 걸로는 꼽 안 주네. 원래 이런 거 꼽 주는 게임인데. 거의 안 보일 때까지 하라고? 이 정도면 거의 안 보이지 않습니까? 현재 시간을 입력하라고? 아니, 참 귀찮게 하네. (42분으로) 딱 바뀌면 바꿔야지. 이거 시간 맞출 때 국룰 아닌가요? 1분 해놓고선 기다리는 거. (1분) 겁나 안 가네. 뜨다! 접근성 기능은 메인 메뉴에서 설정할 수 있습니다. 알겠습니다. 뭐야, 정말 그냥 설정이 필요했던 거였어? 전체 화면으로 하고 수직동기화 끄고 폼질 높게 하고 적용하고 폼질 높음으로 하고 됐어. 시작.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made
마우스도 없어.
for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions. call a meeting
No.
or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
뭐야, 움직일 수 있나? 야, 근데 나 시작하자마자 뭔가 와, 이런 것까지 다 한글로 돼 있네. 56년 동안 파티션을 제공함. 씨발. 56년 동안 파티션을 제공했다는데요? 레전드네. 이런 거 확대 같은 거 안 되나? 뭐야? 키보드 두드리는 소리가 나냐? 컵에 뭐라고 써 있냐고요? 일 싫어. 요일 싫어. 무슨 요일? 와, 정말 칼각으로 무슨 요일인지만 안 보이네. 무슨 요일? 나가볼까? 몇 시냐? 아까 우리가 시간을 입력한 의미가 있습니까? 어차피 안 맞춰줄 거면서 씨발.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
메모를 찾으라고? 월요일 싫어였다. 찾았다.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
누가 방구 뀌었어? 별 씨발. (1등) 아빠. 컴퓨터 꺼버렸어. 어떡함? 헐, 내가 고장램. 난 일이 좋아. 내 상사가 싫을 뿐. 레전드네.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
네가 뭘 알아? 내가 이거 첫 번째 편을 했을 때 저 새끼가 나한테 도움을 줬었는지 안 줬는지 기억이 안 나네. 아니? 난 뭔가를 찾겠어. 왜? 컵 엄청 많네. 예엠병. 뭐야? 다른 방 맞아? 취급주의. 와, 근데 한글 패치 진짜 대박이다. 뭐라고 적혀있는 거냐 저거? 야, 씨, 완전 옛날 컴퓨터인데? 다 꺼버려야지. 내 사랑이 되어줘? 지랄. 와, 이런 거 다 한글로 돼 있는데요? 어떻게 강호가 추락했는가? 주간 모니터. 와. 대박이네. 응? 되는 게 없습니다. 에이씨. 계세요. 이번 분기 판매량. 이건 말도 안 돼.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
왜 씨발 아직 안 들어갔는데 더빙 먼저 하세요. 어지럽네. 그래도 아직 나한테 해끼친 건 없으니까 처음엔 말 들어줄까? 처음부터 말 안 들으면 좀 날 싫어야겠지? 그래. 왼쪽으로 들어가 주지 내가 한번. 난 먼저 호의를 베풀었다.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
아 씨발.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
회의실. 수요일 부수기, 합병, 장난회의, 주간검토, 금융공항회의, 사무효율화, 합법, 사장님 방문, 아이디어 개발활동. 432번은 어떻게 할까요? 회사 파티. 이 칸 너무 작아. 존나 웃기네. 어? 방금 볼펜 떨어지는 소리 안 났냐? 어? 뭐야? 누가 누르는 거야 이거? 야, PPT 대박이네 이거. 당신의 꿈은 무엇인가요? 무료 게임 수익화. 더 많은 돈. 야, 대박이다. 뭐야, 청소도구함이 열리네?
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
이 새끼가 보자 하니까 날 진짜 조종하려 그러네. 어이가
There was
없네.
nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet.
지랄 너 여기 뭐
No reason to still be here.
지랄 마을 뭐 있지? 너 여기 비밀 공간 있지?
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
내가 뭘 아무것도 안 해. 다 눌러보고 있는데 존나 어이없네. 미친놈인가 진짜.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation.
아이 씨발 닥쳐. 내가 알아서 할 테니까.
You do realize there's no choice of anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it. Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favourite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
개새끼.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area.
나가 씨발 나가 그만해. 나가잖아. 그만해. 그만하라고.
First-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right. When you've done that, just step out into the hallway. Second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who's trying to throw you.
이 개새끼.
You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
진짜? 한마디도 안 하고 기다릴 거야? 이래도? 네가 너무 들어오고 싶게 청소 도구함이라고 만들어놨잖아. 어? 네가 만들어놓은 거 아니야 이거? 에이씨.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
조카. 니마. 분위기가 왜 이래 여기?
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk?
이게
All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream.
너 언제까지 얘기할
He closed his
거니?
eyes gently, and he invited
뭐야?
himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
뭐? 아이씨, 그대로잖아.
Stanley began screaming. Please,
어, 씨발 깜짝이야. 어, 씨발 깜짝이야.
my name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who
왜
am
그래?
I? And everything went black.
오.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't.
나 지금 지하로 갔다고 지금 나 죽인 거야?
In a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
어이가 없네.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to
씨발.
go to the meeting room.
너.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
너 어쭈 말도 안 걸어 이제?
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors,
꺼져.
he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
네 말 안 듣기로
Perhaps he
했다.
wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
난 분명히 너한테 호의를 베풀었어.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room.
시원한
Stanley simply
음료.
stood here, drinking it all in. Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
또 시작이네 이거. 아, 또 지랄이네 또. 왜?
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly
아
on
간다
his
간다 간다
overall
간다 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 간다
personality.
또 인격
But at last, he had
또
enough of the
마침내
amazing
그는
room,
놀라운 방에
took the
질렸대
first
씨발.
open door on his left to get back to business.
지나갈 건데? 여길로 가볼 건데? 거짓말하지 마세요. 만약 지금 거짓말하고 있다면 당장 멈추세요.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
와 뭐지 여긴? 이 열려요? 안 열리네. 화물 승강기가 움직이는 동안 뛰지 마십시오. 사망에 이를 수 있습니다.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about
뻥치지 마.
nothing
너 나
but
죽였잖아.
you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for
그녀를 위해서 부탁하는 거라고?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
뭐? 싫어. 싫어. 내 맘대로 갈 거야. 잠깐만 이거 또 지랄. 나 또 죽일라 그러지. 아 이 새끼 나 또.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone. Oh, no, you can't. Did you just unplug the phone?
예.
No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that?
그걸 뽑았는데
You
왜요?
actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person.
오!
I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Choice.
아이씨.
It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, it can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Rupert has a choice. He could invent a machine that eliminates food shortages across the world to make life better for all people. Or he could spend years of hard work forgetting how to read. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack." Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best path to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Ah, welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
죄송한데 게임이 고장난 것 같은데요? 저기요 아이씨 뭐 한 거야? 아이씨 괜찮아? 이 아저씨 마탱이 간 거 같은데?
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not
안돼 저기
equipped
가고
to deal with
싶어.
reality.
헐 진짜네. 원래 아까 이거 안 막혀 있었는데 내가 생각이 있다는 사람이라는 거 알고 나서부터 이거 막는 걸로 바꿔놨어. 헐 개빡치네. 다시 타면 어떻게 되는데요? 오 씨발 깜짝이야. 왜 나에게 선택지를 주지 않는 거야? 어? 왜 그러는데?
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
아 왼쪽 문 무조건 가라고? 어지럽네. 야 근데 이게 우리가 원래 했던 원이랑 뭔가 다르긴 한 거야?
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
아니 근데 이렇게 오른쪽까지 열어주시면 또 말을 안 듣고 싶어지는데.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
아니 너 왜 이게 다 엉터리로 만들어놔? 왜 내가 당연히 왼쪽으로 갈 거라고 생각하는 거야? 문 열어 엄마. 아주 엉망이구만 이거 일처리가. 와 이 새끼 사운드도 버그나게 만들어놔서 봐봐. 들어봐. 배경소리 버그난 거 봐. 얘 나오니까 안 그러네. 와, 이 새끼 봐. 참. 싫어. 가게 해줘. 옌병. 야, 지랄 청소도구 하면 어쨌냐?
Oh, ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever.
무서워 얘.
Its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way.
알았어 미안해.
Is it better to shut the game down in
미안해.
time?
말 잘 들을게. 알았어 그만해.
What's the answer? What do I do? What do
미안해.
I do? What do I? No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to.
오잉? 헐. 우와.
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You. Who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see?
아니면 나는
Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left and you'd seen it, there was a whole underground facility, you would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard to make
아 미안.
behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right.
alright.
Stanley came to a set of two open doors.
스탠리가 두 개의 열린 문 앞에 도착했을 때 그는 오른쪽 문으로 들어갔습니다.
No! How did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When
스탠리가 두 개의 열린 문 앞에 도착했을 때 그는 오른쪽 문으로 들어갔습니다.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly.
알았어. 아직 안 늦었.
Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he
한 번 더
entered the
해달라고?
door on his left.
이쯤 되면 날 그냥 보내줘.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
야, 라라라라라라라라라.
Why did you do
No,
that?
no, 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 no.
Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task.
알았어.
Just
왼쪽으로
follow my
갈게.
lead and you'll be fine.
네가
All
정
right.
그렇게 얘기하니.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
근데 평신아 아까도 왼쪽으로 갔는데 네가 뭐 망쳤다니 뭐니 하면서 다 일로 다시 보낸 거 아니야 엄마. 아까 왼쪽으로 가줬는데. 그리고 여기 또 여기가 아닌가? 다시 고쳐놨네.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
열어 개새끼야. 열어.
Staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
아 진짜 그지 같네. 야 네가 뭐 나한테 왜 그러는 건데? 나 이 벽지 알아. 이거 씨발 공포 게임 그 벽지잖아 이거. 아니 공포 게임이래. 공포 영화 그 벽지잖아. 그 벽지 아닌가 이거? 그 왜? 그 옛날 공포 영화 그래 그 샤이닝 그거 아니야? 그 벽지는 다른 벽지인가? 러스티레이크 벽지 아니냐고? 러스티레이크 같기도 하고. 야, 사장실 미쳤네. 저기가 사장실이야? 여기 뭔데? 뭐 되는 게 없어.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Nightshark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
와 여기 다 한마디씩 써있네. 뭐야 저게? 클로드 머니의 하수구?
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark.
비즈니스 전략.
He spoke it into the
전권
receiver
위임
right
그리고
there on the
몽블랑.
wall.
이런 게 적혀 있네요.
I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
야. 전에.
Okay, fine. You're not gonna do it.
이런
But you
데도
know
책장
what?
만들어
It's
놨네.
pretty humiliating to bring you this
야.
far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do.
아이디어가
I asked you for
좋다.
this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices.
초록 벽지에
He knows
초록
what it means to take
커튼이라고.
a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there.
맞다. 아까
Why did
음성
you
인식
come
해보라
this way?
그랬지?
Speak.
이거
Say
해봐야겠다.
something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. You.
뭐야?
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door. Are you listening to me? Can you hear me?
왜 그래?
Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It can't exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it.
알았어 미안해. 알았어. 해줄게 진짜.
Are you there?
진짜 말 잘 들어줄게. 나 말 잘 듣는 스탠리 할게. 알았어 미안해.
Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice.
미안해.
That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do.
미안해.
Take as much time as you need.
미안해.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
랄라랄라라
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed the memo.
랄라랄라랄라랄라랄라랄라. 어?
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
랄라랄라랄라랄라랄라랄라.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it
뭐야?
perfectly
이게
well.
자꾸 반복인
Perhaps he
건가?
wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes.
알아.
this room.
수고.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
그래. 가주지.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on
이건
track.
뭐예요?
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
아, 왼쪽. 다른 데는 안 열려? 둔둔둔둔둔둔둔둔.
Oh, no,
어?
it's to the right, my mistake.
왜? 그래. 둔둔둔둔둔둔둔둔둔둔.
No,
이 씨발놈아!
no, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down...
아, 지랄. 그래 해봐 그래.
right.
롤롤롤
Okay,
롤롤롤롤
yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely,
롤롤롤.
definitely this way.
그래? 롤롤롤롤 롤롤롤. 우와 이게
No,
우와 이게 뭐예요? 스탠리 씨 이거 뭐예요? 와 이거 뭐예요? 와 이게 뭐예요? 다 보인다 이거. 와.
Who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How
와.
about rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, hmm? Okay, from the top.
다 봤지롱 다 봤지롱 다
All of
봤지롱
his co-workers were
다
gone.
봤지롱 다
What could it mean?
봤지롱.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
잠깐만 새로운 콘텐츠 어디 갔냐? 없어졌네?
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, no, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were...
나 아무것도 안 만졌는데요?
Did you move the story
아니야
somewhere?
나 아무것도 안 했어.
Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
오케이 좋다. 나한테 이런 중요한 임무가 내려오다니. 그러면 왼쪽 방으로 간다. 타다. 뭐지? 여긴 어디예요?
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this.
우와,
let's give it a shot. Why
쇼컷이에요.
not?
아, 자꾸 재부팅하는
All
건데.
his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
오케이. 회의실로 가기로 했다 난. 가기로
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
밭. 아니야, 어쩌면 문이 있을지도 몰라. 정말? 뭔가 복도가 바뀐 것 같은데. 미안해, 말 잘 들을게 이제.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes.
아, 여기가 스토리야?
No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
귀찮게. 너 씨발. 나 놀리는 거지 지금. 너. 다시 가면 뭔데? 여기가 왜 또 바뀌어 있냐?
Now this, well, I'll be honest. I don't
여기가
recognize this
어딘지
at all.
모르겠대.
Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley?
나
Well, do
모르지.
you know what?
네가
Since I've
알겠지.
completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations!
와!
I know you put
이겼다,
in a lot
이겼어.
of hard work,
내가
and it really
이김.
paid off. So, good job. Oh no, no, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart. All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
아, 누굴 바보로 하는 거야? 뭐야? 이게 뭐야 이게? 창피하게. 아, 뭐야 이게? 뭔데? 뭔데 저건? 여기로 가는 거였잖아, 우리 회의실.
No, I'm done. We're leaving it up to the line from now on.
아, 왜? 해줘. 해줘. 아이씨, 해줘. 해줘. 짜잔. 안 하시네. 에이. 진짜? 진짜 안 해줄 거야? 이 새끼 삐졌네. 진짜 아까 뭐 인격이 어쩌저쩌고 놀릴 때는 존내 신나게 떠들더니 지 말 좀 안 들어줬다고 존내 바로 삐져가지고.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office in fact the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct. Whoa. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize.
날 설득해 보라니까. 어려운 말 쓰지
You know
말고.
what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music.
오, 음악 좋지. 살짝 마음이 기울었어. 족같은 음악 들었으니까 나 안 갈 거야. 왔다 그만해. 꺼 왔다 꺼 알았어 미안해 아 씨발 미안해 알았어 아이 개새끼야 이게 뭐야 이게 도대체 알았어 다 따라간다 다 왔다 아이 개 지랄을 해놨네 아주 그냥 씨발 야 왔다 아, 살 것 같네. 아, 개지랄. 아이, 개씨발! 아, 가잖아요. 그만 끄세요, 노래 좀. 아우, 씨발. 뭐야, 이게. 존나 피카츄 꼬리도 아니고, 씨발. 알았다 그만해 노래 안 끄지 나 딴 데 간다 진짜로 경고했다 왔잖아 그만하라고 왔잖아 뭐지? 잠깐만. 잠깐만. 뭐지? 잠깐만. 뭐가 착시 현상인가? 잠깐만. 씨발. 뭐지? 이게 뭐야? 이게 뭐지? 우와 개신기하다 우와 이게 뭐야 진짜 신기하다 알았어 왔다 노래 꺼 제발 알았어 미안해
Cut the music. Go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
말 잘 들을게 이제 그만해 알았어 이거 되게 신기하더라 근데 아니 안 신기해졌어
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
아니 그러니까 내가 회의실로 가려고 했는데 얘가 이상한 데로 가더라니까 나레이션 씨 난 진짜 가려고 했어 그리고 이게 뭐야 도대체 무슨 길이야 이건 돌아왔다 따단 혼자 있게 해줘 뭔데? 응? 여기가 맞나? 나 또 왔어 여기.
No, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
왜 그래?
You know what,
Nice.
Stanley? I say forget the adventure.
왜요?
For us, we're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in?
오, 오랜만에 좋은 얘기한다. 돌아다녀 볼까요?
This direction.
좋은 소리 하시네. 좋아요, 좋아요. 돌아다니고 싶어요, 저도. 문 여셨는... 아, 여기구나. 좋아, 좋아.
Yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path.
오케이, 새로운 길, 새로운 이야기. 좋다.
What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it. Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
좀 이어져 있는데요. 야, 누가 라인을 이렇게 그려놨니? 또 끊겼다. 왔다.
Ah,
오, 좋아,
we
뭔데?
get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control.
좋다.
How important we mustn't squander
맞지?
the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with that counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
너도 알잖아. 여기도 열어줘야 한다는 거. 어? 왜? 뭔데 이게?
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really... No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it.
하지 마라?
And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay.
뭐?
I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey. though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime...
아 깜짝이야 씨발. 놀랬어.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
정말 다시 시작한 거야 우리? 오, 새로운 콘텐츠. 응, 안 가?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.